Hey guys, it's Miharu, and welcome to my 100 sub special. So for this video, I asked Spyro fans to share with me their opinions on the series, whether that be original, legend, or Skylanders. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read each of these comments aloud and give my personal responses on whether I agree or disagree. So let's get started and see what you guys had to say. I like Moneybags. I do too. Yeah, I do legit like Moneybags, actually. Unironically, I like his character. I think the games, they just wouldn't be the same without him, and, you know, I know it's a common thing to hate him, and of course, like, it's really satisfying to get all the gems back from him at the end of Year of the Dragon. That is one of my favorite moments in the entire game. It's great. But yeah, I really do just like his character. I think he's funny, and he's just, you know, he's just a greedy asshole. That's kind of just who he is. Personally, I guess I'm what you could call an original purist. I played the original trilogy as a kid and loved them. Then when Enter the Dragonfly came out, I was excited for it. This is the first time in my childhood that I actually experienced true disappointment in a video game. I got just over halfway through the game before quitting and never playing another new Spyro game ever again. For years I watched Spyro change from afar via TV commercials and generally felt sorrow for the dragon I grew up loving. To me, it seemed like he got passed from developer to developer like a child abandoned by his family, Insomniac, and bounced from foster home to foster home, causing him to change for the worse. Yes, I know it's a bit dramatic, but that's how I really felt about it. Eventually I got over that and accepted that it's simply different versions that aren't necessarily better or worse, just different. I still have little to no interest in those versions, but I have no problem with them being around. And they seem to have kept the Spyro name alive, so for that, I'm glad they happened. Yeah, I agree with this. I too, I guess, am what you would call an original purist, since I like the original games best. Never really was into the story of Legend, didn't really like the gameplay of A Hero's Tale, and I didn't like Enter the Dragonfly. But yeah, I agree that it's just, yeah, it really is just different. I mean, people can like what they like. I may not be personally into it, but if you grew up with Legend, or if you grew up with Skylanders, you know, that's great. If it introduced you to Spyro in any way, I'm glad for it. I think that all Spyro versions are good for what they are, and people should appreciate the good in them. The original being fun and charming, the Legend series being more interesting and in-depth, and even Skylanders for fun and creativity to a newer generation that can be introduced to other things Spyro. Again, yes, I agree, and like I said, if you grew up with Legend or you grew up with Skylanders, I'm just glad that you were introduced to Spyro in some way. Yes, everything is good for what it is. I previously said that I like Legend and Skylanders as standalone games rather than as Spyro games, but they are Spyro games. I mean, if other people want to call them that. I mean, at least Legend is a Spyro game. Not so much Skylanders, since they kind of tossed them aside. But yes, any way you were introduced to Spyro, I'm glad for it. Okay, my opinion, some of the fanbase hates the original, yet claiming to like it, despite mainly playing The Legend of Spyro. They really like the sarcastic wannabe female edgelord that Cinder is, to the point that they think she would make the classics better, when this isn't entirely true. Yes, I think I get what you're saying. Yeah, there are problems with the way that Cinder's character was written. Although I liked it, I do agree that there are problems with her character, and just like there are problems with Legend in general, but for the most part I love Cinder, so I wouldn't really say these things about her, but I do not agree that she would make the classics better. In fact, I'm one of the people who is against her being in the Reignited trilogy, even as a reskin, because I do not think that would work. Justin Long has the best Spyro voice. Number 2, Carlos Alazraqui. Number 3, Jess Harnell. Number 4, Tom Kenny. I don't agree with this at all. I think Tom Kenny is the best Spyro voice, but you know what? If you think Justin Long was the best one, that's perfectly fine too. He's the Skylanders voice, if I'm not mistaken. And unfortunately, I just don't like that Spyro's attitude. I think he's a little too egotistical. But I mean, he was sort of like that in the original game too. I mean, to me, the way this list seems to be, Justin Long at the top, and then Carlos. It's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to like the Spyros that have a little bit more of a tough guy attitude, which is completely fine. I personally like the more friendly Spyros, but you know what? To each their own. I only played the second Spyro game, yet Spyro made a larger impact on me in the PS1 days than Crash Bandicoot. I completely agree. Though I love Crash Bandicoot, I recently revisited the N. Sane Trilogy, which I put tons of hours into. It's so much fun. I really, really love those games. But yes, obviously Spyro won me over just a little bit more. Sorry, Crash. Growing up, I loved playing the trilogy of Spyro the Dragon, yet I never owned the games. I always played those games on my friend's PS2, or my PS2 when he brought them over. I enjoyed fighting the mini-bosses, and there was one character I never liked, Ember, because she's too obsessed with Spyro, and even though he's not interested in her, but he's interested in Cinder. What also got me interested is that you see Spyro's origin story, and how he's the last purple dragon in the world, and get to explore the land. It's more unique on a theme of each land Spyro explores, plus each land is a secret spot for you to find rare treasure. Kinda confusing, to me it seems like you mostly played the Legend trilogy, well, which is good. I'm glad you liked that origin story. That's completely different from the original trilogy, and it's it's too bad that you didn't like Ember, because I loved her. I thought she was cute. Yeah, she was a bit obsessive, but you know, it was more supposed to be a joke. But for Spyro not being interested in Ember, being interested in Cinder, well, like, Ember and Cinder are from two, like, completely separate canons, so I'm not quite sure where you're coming from when you say this, but yeah, I think I get it. It's good to see the original trilogy being brought back for a new generation to play, even though most of the people buying it will be old fans or people expecting Skylanders. Yeah, it's, you know, it's possible. It's very possible. I mean, I'm expecting most of the people that are going to buy it are old fans like me. But you know what? We can always hope. We can always hope that the newer generation will pick up their Reignited trilogy and like it even more than Skylanders or Legend if they grew up with that, or, you know, there's always hope. I actually like Shadow Legacy and even replayed it a few times. I can't say anything about that because I've never played Shadow Legacy. The only handheld Spyro game I ever played was Season of Ice. I'm not really much of a handheld gamer, but I played every Spyro console game there was. So yeah, I don't have much to say on that. I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but Chaos was my favorite character in Skylanders Academy. I just thought they developed his character really well and made him likable. I haven't watched a lot of Skylanders Academy, but I'm glad that they gave him more character development and made him likable. I mean, I almost kind of don't get that because to me, Chaos was always likable. I mean, come on. He's like one of the main reasons that I played Skylanders. I just love him. It's great. But yeah, if they did really well with his character in the TV show and they made him likable to more people, then yeah, that's fantastic. Aside from the original trilogy, I think Hero's Tale is the next best Spyro game. Can't agree with you there. I think the next best Spyro game would probably be Dawn of the Dragon, though I did say that I like it more as a standalone game, but technically, yes, it is part of the Spyro series, so yeah, to me that would be the next best one. I didn't think Hero's Tale was that enjoyable, but I heard a lot of people like it, and it is better than Enter the Dragonfly, so it's got that. I prefer Spyro and Cinder as friends as was originally intended and not a couple. I had no idea that they were originally intended to just be friends. Kinda makes me sad knowing that Cinder was just reduced to the role of love interest, but even if they had been, you know, just friends throughout the whole thing and there was no romance going on between them, I think I still would have shipped them anyway, because I do like this couple. I think it's sweet, it's cute. So yeah, it really wouldn't have changed my opinion because I would have shipped it anyway. But yeah, it's really too bad that the romance felt kind of forced. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Let me know if you liked it, if I should do another video like this sometime in the future, maybe a Q&A, anything like that, just let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. This is Miharu, signing off.